What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your Maker 2199, bringing you guys another tips and tricks series for Gears of War 4. Now today I want to talk about the assault rifle. Now before we get into that, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of an intro or whatever, or a story to set the mood and tell you guys why you should be using an assault rifle more. So for those of you that like watching MLG, or maybe you don't like watching it, I'm gonna tell you basically what it is. So it's a really competitive way to play a game, and all of these players, when they're playing, like I was watching a few matches of MLG Gears 4, and all of these players, when they're playing, they're the biggest way to get the victory for them, because a lot of their matches, they only get one life, and that's it. Once they die, they're done for the round, and they have to wait or whatever. And the team that controls the map, that's the key. Whoever controls the map is gonna get the victory. And people aren't playing to be selfish; they're playing for victories, right? And usually that's the case as well when we're gaming online. We want to have a good time, but we also want to get a good amount of kills and all of that. So playing Gears of War with just a Soul Gnasher, like I've seen a lot of people talking crap and all of that on the community. I've seen a lot of videos where people use an assault rifle and they get a bunch of trash talk to them because they didn't use primarily a Gnasher. Now, if you only use a Gnasher, I know most players try to do it. I try to do it myself. You're a bit of a retard. You really are. And this is the reason why. The Gnasher is not effective at a distance. It's not. Even if you're hitting shots, you're not doing any damage to that player. You might have the animation, but you ain't doing crap. So the other player's gonna be able to lancer you or pistol you and kill you before you can, and you're gonna be bitching and complaining, saying, "Well, I got a few shots off of him, but it's not in the effective range. It's not gonna do anything." So for the most part, these players to control the map, because they don't want to get too close. Getting too close, that's dangerous. For Gears of War, the Gnasher is so powerful, you can get bodied with one and that's it. You're out. If any little mistake you do, or whatever the opposing player does to capitalize, that's it. You're out and goodbye. But it's super competitive. It really is. It's a super competitive game, and that's part of the reason why I like it. My competitive nature, as I mentioned a lot of times. So right here, like if I would have been Gnashering, that would have been ridiculous. I would have been a moron to try to Gnasher these people at a distance. I'm playing support. So I'm trying to help out my teammates because they know they're there. They're trying to get to them, and they're just camping it out. And the opposing players have an advantage when they're doing that. So I'm trying to give a little bit of help. Right there, you can see I picked up the assist because I made a move. They knew that if they stayed there, they were going to continue to get assaulted with my rifle from a distance, and they couldn't stay there. So keep that in mind. So that's what I'm playing. When you play with an assault, you're basically playing support and trying to control an area. Trying to make people uncomfortable and take away their advantage. And for the most part, I would say that most players run like 90% with the Gnasher. Like you see me like almost in all my videos do. I change it right here, and this is technically wrong. I should be running with my assault. Get an active reload as I know that I'm getting close to the battle, and using my assault first, supporting players. And once somebody gets way too close, change to my Gnasher and then take them out, And Gnasher battle then. That's just the thing. Like right here, super close, I'm gonna use a Gnasher, of course, and you always run the risk of getting chainsaw. That, and the chainsaw has always been super overpowered. I use it like 10 times in a year, I guess. And that's a lot for me. I usually don't use it. I've used it lately, but to me it's not as satisfying to get a chainsaw kill because it's cheap. It's you get people from such a distance. It's a load of crap, and it doesn't bring satisfaction to me. So I try to avoid using it. I would rather Gnasher somebody and body them and be happy. So right there, I know they're set up. They're waiting for my team to spawn and go at them, but three against one or 3 against 2, 3 have the advantage, especially when they're bunched up like that. So me using the Lancer just to move them and take them away from their comfort zone was really important, in helping us secure this victory. As you guys saw, I got another assist, and I was able to pick up that kill right there. He pushed me when I had the advantage, and I took him out. Don't roll, try not to roll. It's always gonna end up bad. That's something that I should add. But yeah, for the most part, like right here, this instance I am running with my Lancer, but you're always gonna basically see me change it. And the reason that I use this video is because I use the Lancer a little bit more. So right here I know that nades is a really popular spot to go to out of spawn. So that's what I'm trying to do. If they were rushing nades to it, whatever, I was gonna be ready to take them out. Unfortunately I got taken out by somebody else, but I was ready to take them out and I'll let them get nades or whatever. Try to control the map and power weapons. That's what Gears of War is all about. That's usually the team or the player that's gonna get the victory. So that's the assault. Any assault that you use, the basic one, the chainsaw, that's, in my opinion, that's the best one. The hammer burst is way too overpowered. That's a drop that you need to pick up on the map, but it's insane. All you have to do is burst fire it. Don't hold the trigger down because the recoil is insane. Just burst fire it. You're not gonna have much recoil. You're gonna be really effective, and that's the best way to use that one. And you're gonna kill people with just a few shots. The hammer burst, I was talking about the retro. Excuse me, I got confused. So that's for the retro. That's the one that you pick up, and it's super overpowered. The hammer burst, that's a weapon that I haven't used so much except for arms race. It's super powerful. Another burst rifle, and as long as you hit like 2 or 3 of those bursts, that's it. Your opponent is down. You're able to pick up a clean kill, and it's super overpowered. It's just this one, the chainsaw, that is not as powerful unless you have it active. Then it's a complete beast, and you have, especially if you have an entire clip with an active, you can take out the entire team if they're rushing together. So always in Gears of War, give you and your opponent, you and your teammates, not your opponent, distance, enough distance where they're not effective with the Gnasher. So if they take one of you out, you're still at a safe distance, as he's not going to be able to pick up a double. But yeah, right there, pop shot, like I was talking about in my other video. If you keep to the basics, you'll usually do well. Don't try to overcomplicate things, although we will get to more advanced techniques. Don't try to overcomplicate it, especially when you're just trying to learn the game. Keep it simple, stupid, the kiss technique, and you're gonna do well. You're gonna do very well. You're gonna kill a lot of these players that are trying to go too fancy and they confuse themselves. Like I mentioned, the wall bouncers, or that wall bouncer pick up. Don't be one of those. There's too many of them in this game, and usually it ends up bad. It's just people showing off their mods, their modded controller. Oh, I have a fancy mod and I'm able to wall bounce, twice as fast as a regular person. But yeah, the Enforcer, that's really close range. That is super powerful, but you can't control that assault at range. So I would recommend to use it at close proximity. It's almost as good as using it as a Gnasher with a little bit more range. So if your Gnasher is out of range, use the Enforcer. That's another super overpowered assault. I really dislike it when other opponents or teams are using it together, because it's too powerful, and I love it when I use it because it's super powerful. And I get a lot of cheap kills. It's a little bit cheap, but that's the name of the game. It was never made for just Gnasher kills or whatever. And the best way to use the chainsaw is with the team, or any assault. If you concentrate your fire as a team, you're gonna melt the entire opposing team within seconds. So right here we have, I'm playing support most of the time when I play. I know these guys who were rushing, they were really heavy and trying to get these Gnasher kills. So I have my assault out, and all I'm trying to do is just provide support, and I get to take a few of them out, as I do so. So hopefully this will help you guys, decide. Hopefully you guys aren't running too much with the Gnasher, but don't be shy to use it. Close proximity, use it, of course. And I would love a Gnasher only lobby instead of a chainsaw or an assault rifle and all of that, like the next guy. But if you're trying to get the victory, if you've been playing badly trying to get the victory, change up your style, use the assault a little bit better, play smarter, and get that victory. It's all about being the smart player. That gets the most victories and the best and most satisfying gameplay, in my opinion. So next time you guys are thinking about using an assault, I kind of reviewed reviewed them a little, told you how to use them a little bit, and hopefully you guys will do better. Like and sub, and I'll see you guys on the next one.